Technoblade was a legendary Minecraft YouTuber who entertained and inspired millions. So I wrote a song about him. When Technoblade first announced he had cancer, I decided to make a tribute to him and donate all the revenue to the Sarcoma Foundation. And when the news came of his passing, I spent 3 months making it the best song it could be. This is the story of how I did it. This is the story of Technoblade. But before we get to that, subscribe to Technoblade. Everybody subscribe to Technoblade. Can we get him to 17 million subscribers? I think we can. One of us. One of us. One of us. Also, go throw money at the Sarcoma Foundation of America. That's the whole reason I'm doing this. Even if you can't donate or just hate the song, leave it playing on another tab or something, and you'll still be donating money to cancer research. Please, please give them money. Okay, the song is over 13 minutes long, and if I don't get started fast, my audience retention is going to plummet. This is Technoblade's theme. It's a leitmotif or musical idea that represents a person, place, or thing that I use to represent Technoblade and tell his story. The song starts where Technoblade's story does, his YouTube channel. The first instance of Technoblade's theme plays in F minor over some rising quartal chords to create a feeling of uncertainty. Where would this journey take him? Would he reach his goal of 10 million subscribers? Let's find out. Bedwars is a Minecraft minigame on Hypixel where each team spawns on a floating island with a bed that lets them respawn if they die. Your goal is to break the other team's bed, kill all of their members, and be the last one standing, all while protecting your own bed. Technoblade won 1,818 games in a row, claiming the world record. In this first major section of the song, we get a huge bass drop inspired by BFG Division. This style returns anytime Techno's bloodlust compels him to start killing. Speaking of killing, everyone. Minecraft Monday was a big Minecraft tournament that Techno regularly dominated, winning the event 4 times. This section is pretty similar to the last. Pure violent rage, but with a few differences. This section moves down to E minor, has a different bass line, a new variation of Techno's theme, and triplet rhythms. In addition to murdering the competition, Minecraft Monday was also where Techno would beat 2 of his best friends, Philza Minecraft and Wilbur Soot, both people he would meet again on SMP Earth was a survivor multiplayer server created by Wilbur Soot with a bunch of YouTubers on a giant scale replica of planet Earth. Techno and Philza met back up in Antarctica and established their faction, the Antarctic Empire. I like to use instruments to represent characters in a story, and in this section I used a cello to represent Philza. His cello plays the Antarctic Empire theme, another variation of Technoblade's theme. SMP Earth has a feature where players can claim land. If a player claims the perimeter of an area, then they also claim all the area inside. Techno realized you could abuse this feature to claim the entire world. A French horn enters alongside the cello as Techno and Phil take over the world. Unfortunately, the government deemed it a war crime and took it away from them. Sometime later, a synth lead for Tommy Innit plays as he starts a war with the Antarctic Empire, along with an electric guitar for Wilbur as he tries and fails to mediate. Their conflict grows and grows, bringing in more and more players, until Techno ultimately wins. Back on Hypixel, Technoblade decides to become the #1 potato farmer on the entire server, and fights to keep his crown from the previous potato king, Squid Kid. The two spent over a year farming hundreds of hours every week, developing new farming methods, sabotaging each other, looking for every advantage possible, all to farm more potatoes. This section is built on the back and forth between 2 conflicting themes. Techno's theme and electric guitar in the key of G major, and Squid Kid's theme on trumpet in B major. The guzheng, a traditional Chinese instrument, joins Techno's theme as he consults Sun Tzu's The Art of War, seeking guidance in how to conquer his enemy. After months of non-stop farming, the two decide that the first to reach 500 million potatoes would ultimately be crowned the Potato King. The two rise to their respective keys, climbing as high as their potato counts. before finally landing in G major as Technoblade wins the Potato War. Minecraft Championship was another big Minecraft tournament that Technoblade competed in. He won it twice and placed top 10 in every single event. This section is similar to Minecraft Monday, but bigger and brighter. It has the same chords and bass line as the previous section, however it's an E major, not minor, has a faster, more upbeat version of Techno's theme, and has a pretty synth in the background to reflect the fun tone, colorful aesthetic of the event. Minecraft Monday and MCC are also the only sections that use triplets, connecting the two as tournaments that Techno competed in. When Dream began blowing up on YouTube with his Minecraft Manhunt series, the community began asking, who was better, Technoblade or Dream? Mr. Beast organized a 1v1 duel to determine the answer. The winner would claim $100,000 and the title of Best Fighter in Minecraft. For this section, instead of doing another Doom bass drop, I thought I would try something a little different. To reflect the one-on-one nature of the fight, this section is a musical battle between Techno's theme in E-flat and Dream's theme in F-sharp as the two trade blows. As the battle goes on, the volume, tempo, and tension increases into the final round. Their themes clash one final time before ending on E-flat as Techno takes his crown. The Dream SMP was a Minecraft roleplay server that Techno played on with Wilbur, Tommy, Phil, Dream, Ranboo, and many other content creators. It's how I first discovered him. Okay, this part needs a little bit of a backstory, so... Previously on the Dream SMP. After a long battle with Dream, Wilbur, Soot, and Tommy in it succeed in establishing the first independent nation on the Dream SMP, La Manberg. Wanting to prove his new authority as president, Wilbur decides to hold an election. The weeks of campaigning and speeches would ultimately end in disaster, as JStat becomes president and exiles Wilbur and Tommy from their own country. Low Brass comes in, inspired by the kings of old, to represent the government that Techno seeks to destroy, and in their desperate time of need, Tommy calls on an old friend. Technoblade is an anarchist, completely opposed to the very idea of government. So when Tommy asked the Blade for his aid in taking down Manberg, he was all in. Techno, Tommy, and Wilbur form Pucktopia, a revolution to overthrow JStat. A final variation of Techno's theme joins Wilbur's guitar and Tommy's synth, refusing to resolve to the new key of D minor until the government is no more. Around this time, Techno also met with Dream, who gave him a map to a totem of undying in exchange for a special favor. Schlatt decides to host a festival in celebration of democracy in the newly renamed Manberg, and invites Technoblade to attend. He agrees so we can see exactly what he's up against. The festival was organized by Tubbo, Schlatt's right-hand man, Pucktopia's man on the inside, and Tommy's best friend. The government theme and trumpet and fireworks enter as Techno arrives at the festival and shows off his new firework launcher. After a few games, the president calls everyone to the podium. Schlatt gives a speech about how great the festival is, and Tubbo gives a speech about Manberg, democracy, and declares, "Let the festival begin." As he finishes his speech, Schlatt and Quackity trap Tubbo on stage and confront him for conspiring with Pucktopia and betraying his country. He calls Techno to the stage and demands that he executes Tubbo as punishment. The brass grows darker as the pressure continues to mount. Tubbo is his ally, but the pressure gets to him and he kills Tubbo. The murder sparks a moment of bloodlust as Techno unleashes his firework launcher on the audience, a mere taste of the violence to come. Techno killing Tommy's best friend created some tension between them, sure, but for now they were still on the same side. Wilbur, however, no longer wanted to retake Manberg. He wanted to blow it sky high. After a month of gathering weapons and resources for him and his allies, Techno is ready for war. Everyone gears up and they charge into Manberg. Techno's theme and the government's both play at full force as they fight, until Dream announces Manberg's surrender? Dream leads everyone to the van where the Manberg was founded, only to find Slat, drunk and alone. Manberg's trumpet line descends to its end, as Slat dies of a heart attack. The war is won. Government is gone. Or so it seems. Everyone gathers at the podium, and after speeches from Tommy and Wilbur, Tubbo is made the new president of the Manberg. After everything he did for them. The weapons, the armor, the weeks of work to fund this revolution, only for them to turn around and replace one tyrant with another. No, Techno's war was not over just yet. He tries to tell them that government was the real source of their problems, that power corrupts, but they don't listen. If they wouldn't help him destroy the government, then he'd just have to do it himself. Suddenly, the ground explodes beneath their feet, the sound of explosions booming through the battlefield. Wilbur had blown up the Manberg. Wilbur's guitar and Phyllis's cello play together for a moment as they stare out over the destruction. One in triumph, one in horror. Wilbur pleads with Phyllis, begging him to kill him and seeing the monster he has become. Phil stabs his son through the chest. After the fighting ends and the Manberg is gone, Techno retreats to the Arctic with Phil. Violence didn't work, didn't change their minds. So he decides to try a more peaceful method, showing them the freedom of anarchy by example. The Antarctic Empire theme from SMP Earth returns as Techno and Phil chill in their new snowy home. Techno's electric guitar abandons his old theme as he abandons violence. New Manberg, however, thinks Techno still needs to pay for blowing up their country. The Manberg's horns blast their new theme as they hunt Techno down, hold his horse Carl hostage, take all of his items, and bring him to the Manberg to be executed. Just as the anvil falls, Techno is saved by a totem of undying. Quackity confronts him on his way out, so Techno drives a pickaxe through Quackity's teeth and escapes with hope from Dream. He was wrong. He tried to be peaceful, but they wouldn't let him. Techno's theme returns to its previous version as he realizes that violence truly is the only universal language. Technoblade's theme and the Manberg theme play back and forth, still unresolved, as his war against government begins anew. Techno returns home to find Tommy stealing all of his stuff and living in his basement. A few months ago, Tubbo exiled Tommy from the Manberg for causing too much trouble for the country. After weeks of emotional abuse from Dream, Tommy escaped and moved into Techno's. Techno convinces Tommy to join him in destroying the Manberg, in exchange for helping him retrieve his precious discs. Tommy's synth returns, playing the same melody he played in Poctopia. Techno and Tommy start infiltrating the Manberg to get Techno's weapons back and gain information. Dream's violin momentarily appears as he knocks on Techno's door looking for Tommy. The more time they spend together, the closer they get, and as they become friends, Tommy's synth starts to play Techno's theme alongside him. The Manberg decides to host a festival as a front to kill the biggest threat to their nation, Dream. Technoblade and Tommy sneak in hopes of getting one of Tommy's discs back from Dream or Tubbo. But when Dream arrives, he tells everyone that Tommy really screwed up. They follow him to find the community house, one of the oldest buildings on the server, completely destroyed. Dream claims that Tommy blew up the community house, and that as long as Tubbo has his disc, he is affiliated with him. He demands Tubbo give him the disc as punishment. Tommy jumps in to stop them, and Techno jumps in after him, saying that Tommy didn't do this. Tommy confronts Tubbo for not visiting him in exile and asks him to trust him for once in his life. Tubbo says that he did, once, and he won't make the same mistake twice. They both feel betrayed by the other. And Tommy screams at Tubbo, "The discs are worth more than you ever were." Tommy realizes how much he's hurt the people close to him, and as Tommy's synth changes from Techno's theme to the Manberg's theme, he chooses to side with Tubbo. After everything Techno did for him, giving him weapons, hiding him from Dream, saying that he would fight the entire world for him, and he left him for the guy who chose his country over his best friend. Now that Dream had the disc, there is no reason to keep pretending. He tells everyone that tomorrow he's going to destroy the Manberg, and there's nothing they can do about it. They're gonna finish what Wilbur started, and it's gonna be beautiful. Techno's guitar and the Manberg's brass chromatically rise as both sides prepare for war. Techno and Phil will fight people, spawn withers, and stall for time, while Dream builds a machine to rain TNT from the sky. Techno arrives with his Hound army, and the battle begins. The voices in Techno's head chant blood for the blood god as he goes on a rampage, killing everyone in sight. Phil spawns wither after wither. All of the Manberg fights to protect their broken country, but they are no match for Technoblade. And after almost 20 minutes of fighting, TNT begins to fall from the sky. Tommy yells at Techno saying that he didn't have to do this, claiming that Techno betrayed him. Techno responds saying that Tommy never cared about him. He only ever saw him as the blade, a weapon to fight his battles for him. For the people to be free, the government must die. As the endless TNT continues to fall, the citizens of the Manberg give up. Their once great country was nothing more than a crater. The Manberg's theme plays one final time as the music finally resolves. Technoblade completes his mission and destroys the government. After destroying the government, Techno and Phil return to their snowy home with a new neighbor, the fallen down piano guy, Ranboo. Despite being a part of the Manberg's cabinet, Ranboo was on pretty good terms with Techno and Phil. They had both helped the Half-Ender men in the past, and Ranboo considered them friends. After they kinda blew up his house, Phil invited him to live up north with them. Techno was suspicious of him for a while, but over time Ranboo starts to grow on him. Gives them gifts, shows them his cool Enderman abilities, helps them get forbidden items, and Techno becomes a sort of sensei to him. Techno and Phil soon realize that new governments would likely rise from the Manberg's ashes, so they decide to form a secret organization to promote anarchy and fight tyranny, the Syndicate. Nihachu's strings and Ranboo's mellow piano join them, and together they prevent future governments. They train with Techno, they grow closer as friends. They do so much character development, so much lore. All off camera. Previously on the Dream SMP. Tommy's discs, his most prized possessions. Tommy traded his discs for the Manberg's independence, and ever since then he had been determined to get them back. One day he finds his house destroyed, and in the rubble, a compass left by Dream labeled, "Your discs." Tommy and Tubbo follow the compass to their greatest battle yet. They fight valiantly, but they prove to be no match for Dream. Just as he's about to kill Tubbo, the rest of the SMP shows up to stop it. Tommy is inches away from killing him when Dream tells him that he can bring people back to life. With a power like that, they can't kill him. But for all the pain he's caused, they can't let him go free either. They decide to lock him up in his own inescapable prison built by him and Sam, Pandora's Vault. Philso, Ranboo, and Nihachu all gather outside Techno's house to throw him a birthday party. Quackity drops by and tells Techno that Dream wanted him to visit him. Something about a favor he doesn't know. As Techno prepares to visit Dream in prison, he gives Philso a will in case things go south, telling him to read it if he doesn't return within 3 days. Or is it months? Techno meets with Sam, the prison warden, and they make their way to Dream's cell. But when he enters the cell, he gets locked inside with Dream. Techno is the greatest risk to Dream escaping, so they locked him in with him. Dream's violin plays a slow, descending melody as he becomes depressed. His only chance at escape now stuck in this suffocating box with him. Technoblade, meanwhile, was just excited to spend some time with his new roommate. They spend months together in the solitude, with only the occasional visit from Sam and a steady supply of raw potatoes. Until one day Quackity visits and threatens to kill them if Dream doesn't tell them how to bring people back to life. Quackity swings his pickaxe at Techno, the same way he did to him all those months ago. Then suddenly he vanishes. Phil finally read Techno's will and teleported him home. During their time together, Dream told Techno everything he knew about the prison, the people running it, and a set of coordinates. At the place where they first met were the prison's blueprints. Techno began scouting out the prison from a nearby watchtower, planning how he could break in, and suddenly he sees something in the distance. Sam is throwing Ranbu into prison. Techno rushes over to stop him, but it's too late. This was no longer just returning a favor. This was personal. They had to get Ranbu out of there. After studying the blueprints, Techno had a plan. The prison security system includes a large array of Elder Guardians. They give anyone near them mining fatigue, making it almost impossible to break blocks. But there was one place their effects didn't reach. Techno would tunnel underneath the prison, dig a hole through the floor, find Dream and Ranbu, leave the way they came, and nothing would go wrong. The doom music kicks back in as Techno breaks into the prison. He gets to Dream's cell and breaks it open, setting off the alarm. Sam and the other guards come to stop them, but Techno and Dream fight them off. They break Ranbu out of his cell, escape through the underground tunnel, and return to the surface to find the whole circuit there to stop Dream. Techno and Dream fight to escape as Sam calls Ranbu over and shows him a photo. Sam yells that if Dream doesn't go back into the prison, he's going to kill Ranbu. Dream could care less about Ranbu and just wants to get out of there. But Techno refuses to leave him, and when Dream refuses to return, Sam murders Ranbu. Techno and Dream run back to Technospace, and Dream leaves, his debt finally repaid. Before Ranbu died, he told Techno that Sam had Michael, and gave him a photo of Ranbu, Tubbo, and a baby zombie pigman. Techno goes to Tubbo for answers and learns that Michael is Ranbu and Tubbo's adopted son. Techno and Tubbo team up to save Michael and avenge Ranbu. In Michael's house, they find a message from Eric saying that he saved Michael. They go to his castle to ask him where Michael is, and he confesses that he let Sam take him away because he said he could keep him safe. The newly formed Revengers go to Sam's house and demand Michael. Sam, despite kidnapping a baby, throwing their father in jail, then killing said father, says that it was all for the greater good. His time as the warden had twisted him into a supervillain. They attack him and threaten to destroy his house until he finally relents and gives them Michael. Tubbo decides to lock Sam in his own prison as punishment. Finally, they save Michael and take him to Ranbu's old house in the snow. Father and son reunited, all the loose ends finally wrapped up in a blood-stained bow. This section ends with a medley of all of the previous drops with a little added modulation to make it more interesting. The grand finale of violence and death. One last blood for the blood god, as Techno fights his toughest battle yet. It had been a few months since Technoblade's last stream, and he uploads a video titled Where I've Been. The video starts like any normal commentary video. Talks about how he spent June and July preparing to make more content, but at the end of July his right arm started to hurt, kept hurting for days, and his shoulder started to swell, so he decided to get it checked out.
Told me that the reason my arm hurts is because I have cancer.
The guitar and chordal harmony from the beginning come back. Techno once again faced with uncertainty. Would he beat cancer? One thing was for certain. If Techno was going down, he wasn't going down without a fight. The entire Minecraft community showed their support. Other content creators wore purple ribbons on their skins. The fans gave words of encouragement and donated thousands of dollars to cancer research. And Techno kept making content. Despite having a life-threatening disease, he was still entertaining us, making us laugh, being his amazing self. Even while telling us that he might lose his right arm, he was still making jokes and having fun. He helped raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for cancer research, and after 8 long years, he finally reached his goal of 10 million subscribers. It looked like he was getting better. He made an update video in which he said they removed 99% of the cancer. He even made a VR video in which he said his arm was feeling better. But then silence. No uploads, no updates, nothing. While working on this song, I re-watched all of his videos for inspiration, and re-watching these last few videos and reading all the comments, everyone wishing him a speedy recovery, everyone's so certain that he would win. It was genuinely heartbreaking. I only watched him for a few years, but he was one of the funniest and most entertaining YouTubers I knew. Technoblade never dies. He lives on in the lives he touched, the people he helped, the works of art he made, and the works of art he inspired us to make. I hope you like the song. I hope you would have liked it too.